Order. The clerk will now proceed to read the orders of the day and the notice of motion.
Item 1, the Child Development Co-Savings Amendment Bill, second reading.
Minister for Social and Family Development.
Madam Deputy Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Social and Family Development, I beg to move that the bill be now read a second time. Madam, families are the foundation of our society. They are the first environment in which children are nurtured and where they experience love and where values are inculcated. Every parent knows that parenthood has its challenges, yet every parent also knows the joys that it brings. The government is consistent in its approach to supporting couples, and as couples embark on their parenting journey, we are here to support them and their family. We have consistently reviewed our policies over the years to strengthen family ties, particularly between parent and child. We have made considerable strides. But we recognize that family formation is a personal decision. Our measures can only go so far as to address practical obstacles or financial concerns that many parents worry about. An overall ecosystem which includes family members, community partners, employers, and government measures is needed to support parents on their journey. We remain committed in encouraging people to get married, have children, and to raise them in strong families. The Child Development Co-Savings Act, CDCA, was first introduced in 2001. It has been 20 years. Over the years, we have increased coverage and introduced new schemes under the CDCA as part of a holistic suite of measures that families can tap on. The CDCA now covers the Child Development Account, CDA, and parental leave schemes with respect to citizen children. Many today will know the CDA as part of the commonly known Baby Bonus Scheme. In 2008, the CDCA was amended to extend maternity leave from 12 weeks to 16 weeks, childcare leave from 2 to 6 days, and to introduce 6 days of unpaid infant care leave. In 2013, 1 week of shared parental leave and paternity leave were introduced. We kept in mind that economy could evolve and support could be extended to a wider group of parents, including those not on regular employment. Hence, the government-paid maternity benefits scheme was introduced for mothers who were either employed or self-employed, but not for the minimum continuous 3-month period to qualify for maternity leave. These mothers could be on short-term contracts or on contracts which expired just before they gave birth. In 2017, we also made it mandatory for employers to grant 2 weeks of paternity leave and increased shared parental leave from 1 week to up to 4 weeks. As a whole, working couples today can take up to 20 weeks of paid parental leave in the child's first year, comprising 16 weeks of maternity leave, 2 weeks of paternity leave, and 6 days of childcare leave per parent. This is the result of continuous policy reviews over the years. We have also made enhancements on other fronts. The maximum dollar-for-dollar government co-matching of parents' savings in the CDA for the second child born from 1st January 2021 was doubled earlier this year, from $3,000 to $6,000. This is in addition to the CDA First Step Grant of $3,000 introduced in 2016 that is paid into the CDA when it is opened, without parents having to contribute first. To reassure couples to proceed with their parenthood plans despite the global pandemic, the government also implemented the one-off baby support grant of $3,000 for Singaporean children born from 1st October 2020 to 30th September 2022. The environment that Singaporeans work, live, and raise families has evolved. MSF has proposed amendments to the CDCA to bolster our support for citizen children and their working parents, as well as employers in this changing environment. We continue to encourage parenthood within marriage, and our proposed amendments also ensure that our operational processes are robust and that there is accountability over public monies, even as additional benefits are included and extended. I now draw the House's attention to the key components in the Child Development Co-Savings Amendment Bill, of which there are 7. A. Government-paid paternity and adoption benefits. As announced in February this year, we will be introducing 2 new schemes. Some working fathers and adoptive mothers may not qualify for paternity leave or adoption leave under the CDCA respectively, owing to their employment arrangements. They may be on multiple short-term contracts or had their contracts expire shortly before the birth or adoption of their child. Clause 13 and 26 therefore legislate the new government-paid paternity and adoption benefit schemes, or GPPB and GPAB, under which such parents can qualify. The new schemes are not unprecedented. Already, working mothers can be eligible for the existing government-paid maternity benefit scheme, or GPMB in short, and we are extending this to working fathers and adoptive mothers. A father can be eligible for GPPB if his child's date of birth or estimated date of delivery is on or after 1st of January 2021. Adoptive parents can benefit from GPPB and GPAB if their application to adopt a child is submitted to the court on or after 1st January 2021. In the case of a foreign child, we will refer to the date on which the dependence pass is issued. With the new schemes, parents can receive a cash benefit in lieu of the government-paid portion of paternity leave or adoption leave. The parent must have worked as an employee or self-employed person or both for at least 90 days in the 12 months immediately preceding the child's date of birth or the eligibility date for an adopted child. The total cash payout will be calculated based on the average income earned in the same 12-month period as prescribed in subsidiary legislation. Therefore, parents who work for longer periods will receive a higher benefit. As further amendments need to be made to subsidiary legislation, eligible parents may apply for the new GPPB and GPAB schemes from 1st December 2021. We estimate that around 500 working fathers and adoptive mothers will benefit. Though this number is small, it remains important to ensure that these parents are supported in raising their children. B. Assisting parents whose contracts expire or who are retrenched. Even as we introduce the new GPPB and GPAB schemes, they are not intended to replace the existing schemes for paternity leave and adoption leave, respectively. Generally, these schemes are mutually exclusive, and parents will not be able to qualify for both leave and benefit schemes simultaneously. The majority of parents will qualify under the relevant leave schemes as they remain employed. However, there is one existing exception. The CDCA allows for a GPMB top-up to be given to a mother whose contract expires while she is on maternity leave. An eligible mother may have started her maternity leave, but could not consume all of it before her contract expired due to the lack of time. Such mothers can receive cash benefits for the remaining government-paid portion of leave, which the government would have reimbursed their employers had the leave not been forfeited. With the new GPAB and GPPB schemes, we will extend this to working fathers and adoptive mothers in similar situations. They too will be eligible for a benefits top-up. My ministry has also proposed to introduce an additional exception to assist working parents. We know that some parents may be retrenched and have to give up their remaining leave. Clauses 8M, 13 and 26 will address this by granting a benefit top-up to retrenched parents who did not manage to take up their leave. This leave would also have been otherwise forfeited. This will help provide greater assurances to parents as we know that retrenchments are beyond their control. Let me be clear that these top-ups will not affect existing protections for female employees who are pregnant, as they should not be denied their maternity leave benefits by the termination of their employment. These protections are protected for under the Employment Act. Employers will have to pay maternity leave benefits to pregnant employees who have worked for their employers for at least 3 months if their employment is terminated without sufficient cause or if they are retrenched at any stage of their pregnancy. It is an offence to dismiss employees while they are on maternity leave. It is also an offence for employers to withhold parental leave from working parents. C. Supporting parents of stillborn children. Next, the proposed bill will allow working parents of a stillborn child who would have been a Singapore citizen to qualify for birth-linked government-paid leave and benefit schemes, which are maternity leave and benefits, paternity leave and benefits, as well as shared parental leave. We appreciate that many employers have been voluntarily granting paid leave to such parents, as employers play a key role in fostering family-friendly workplaces in Singapore. Generally, we have supported this by granting reimbursement to them. The bill will now entitle parents of stillborn children to the relevant schemes. Parents of stillborn children need to recover physically and emotionally, and this move can help them in these difficult times. The government-paid portion of certain schemes also vary with the number of live citizen children a mother has. These are the maternity and adoption leave and benefit schemes. For instance, mothers with 1 or 2 children who are eligible for maternity leave receive 8 weeks of employer-paid leave and 8 weeks of government-paid leave. From the third child, all 16 weeks of maternity leave under the CDCA are paid for by the government. In addition to the above entitlement to leave and benefits, Clause 21H will count stillborn children or deceased children in determining the number of children a mother has had. Depending on whether they are entitled for leave or benefit schemes, including them in the child order determination, will allow more employers and working mothers to receive a higher quantum of reimbursement or payment. We hope that this will go some way to help mothers and also encourage employers to be more supportive of working mothers with more children. D. Reimbursement to employers who voluntarily grant leave to employees for parental leave schemes. Employers are one of our main partners in developing a Singapore that is made for families. The support from employers is crucial, especially when their employees take on new roles as parents. I'm heartened to say that many employers have gone the extra mile and allowed employees to benefit from the parental leave schemes, even if the employees have not worked the minimum of 3 months continuously preceding the birth or adoption of their child to qualify for leave, which is one of the eligibility criteria under the CDCA. We recognize that progressive employers play an important part in helping working parents, who are also new to their companies. To this end, Clauses 10B, 17B, and 28B gives the government the discretion to reimburse employers if they grant paid maternity leave, paternity leave, and adoption leave, respectively, even though the 3-month criterion under the CDCA is not satisfied. The parent must still meet all other eligibility criteria mentioned in the bill, such as having a child who is a Singapore citizen. I must emphasize that there is no change to a parent's entitlement. Legislatively, the minimum work criterion is there as a safeguard for employers who also bear some cost. Nonetheless, some employers provide leave for employees out of goodwill and can continue to do so of their own volition. The amendments are only intended to give my ministry more latitude to reimburse these progressive employers. E. Disqualify unwed fathers from paid childcare leave and unpaid infant care leave in respect of children born from extramarital affairs. Over the years, significant steps have been taken to ensure that every child is cared for and supported in his or her development. The CDCA was last amended to extend maternity leave and the CDA, including the CDA First Step Grant and matched co-savings from the government to single unwed parents in 2017 and 2016, respectively. Earlier in 2013, we had also extended paid childcare leave and unpaid infant care leave under the CDCA to support parents in their caregiving responsibilities. Our approach is to enable all Singaporean children and their parents to receive government benefits that are intended to support the children's growth and development. Nonetheless, the desired social norm in Singapore remains parenthood within marriage. These have been our policy considerations. However, we have found that parents could also consume childcare leave and unpaid infant care leave with respect to children born as a result of extramarital affairs. This was not the policy intent. Our marriage and parenthood policies are intended to safeguard the family institution and not to condone extramarital affairs. With the above in mind, the amendments laid out in clauses 18C and F and 21B disqualify wed and unwed fathers from paid childcare leave and unpaid infant care leave under the CDCA with respect to children born from extramarital affairs. Gestational mothers will retain their entitlement to paid childcare leave and unpaid infant care leave to avoid unduly compromising a child's well-being, given that mothers are usually the main caregivers. If the birth parents subsequently marry, the father will become eligible for childcare leave in respect of the child. All other single unwed fathers whose children are not born out of extramarital affairs continue to be eligible for paid childcare leave and unpaid infant care leave. F. Disqualify mothers who have consumed maternity leave under the Employment Act from GPMB. I mentioned earlier that parents will not be able to qualify for both leave and benefit schemes simultaneously with certain exceptions. Clause 8I will ensure that this treatment is equally applied to both mothers of children who are citizens from birth and those who are new citizens. To elaborate, mothers of non-citizen children can qualify for maternity leave under the Employment Act. Should the child subsequently gain citizenship within 1 year of the child's birth, a mother could then qualify for GPMB under the CDCA if she meets the eligibility criteria. In contrast, a mother of a citizen child would not be able to receive both paid leave and benefits simultaneously under the CDCA, except in certain cases as earlier mentioned. The proposed amendment will ensure parity between different groups of working mothers, such that those in similar circumstances benefit equally from the maternity leave and benefits provisions under the CDCA. Amendment G. Amendments to improve checks and accountability. Finally, the bill proposes amendments at Clause 32 to improve checks and ensure public accountability. First, the amendments will give my ministry power to carry out audits or require audits to be conducted. Second, we will expand our powers to recover erroneous payments through clauses 6 and 30. Our powers to claw back are currently limited to payments made by mistake of fact or due to false or misleading information or documents furnished. The amendment will allow the government to also recover payments that were made due to any error, and this could include, for example, errors caused by an electronic system used by the government to determine claims or made by any person. The government will also be able to deduct the amount from subsequent claims with respect to the same parent. For CDA benefits, the government may deduct or set off the amount to be recovered from future baby bonus benefits payable to the relevant child. We will also be able to recover directly from parents who caused the erroneous payments and claw back from CDA trustees or approved persons in the event of unauthorized withdrawals from the CDA. Just as benefits have been progressively expanded over the years, checks and balances must also correspondingly be updated. These amendments ensure that we continue to exercise rigorous oversight over the various schemes provided for under the CDCA and bolster accountability over how public monies are utilized. Madam, our intent is for the proposed amendments to further support a Singaporean couple's decision to start, raise, and grow their family. We are committed to this cause and have worked to ensure that our policies keep pace with and reflect our desired values. We want to ensure that parents are supported in their journey. Nonetheless, the government cannot be alone in doing so. Legislation is an insufficient and blunt tool for policies to support parents in child raising as families have differing needs. Equally important are employers who can create conducive environments for employees to work and have their families. We are glad to see many have implemented family-friendly practices, and I urge others to follow their lead. In addition, the extended family and the community can also pitch in to support families, especially when they are bringing up young children. My ministry will continue to work with our community partners, such as the Families for Life movement, so that strong family relations can be fostered. A whole-of-society effort is required, and we will continue to support Singaporeans in this journey. Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to move.